Lots of Hollywood actors came to Palm Springs in the early days for that Old West experience. Riding clubs like Los Vaqueros and Los Compadres catered to the cowboy child in all of us. But those riding clubs needed a trail boss, a real cowboy, to lead the way. And that trail boss was the Valley's own Frank Bogert.
Frank was the cowboy. I mean, he was the cowboy. Wrangler, rodeos, trail boss, this man knew horses. You could tell just by looking at Frank, he stood erect, he handled that horse with the ease, not forceful, didn't need to. The horse knew exactly what to do. This was a man who was a horseman. I mean, they were one and the same.
Bogert served 2 terms as the mayor of Palm Springs from 1958 to 1966 and again from 82 to 86. Bogert first came to the Valley in 1927, driving cattle from Riverside to the desert for the winter and then back for the summer. But he was much more than a politician and much more than a cowboy. Frank Bogert was Palm Springs.
He tries to leave and there's a flood, so he can't get across the wash. So he's kind of forced to stay longer than he anticipated. And upon staying longer than he anticipated, he went back into town and apparently met some people and talked a little bit. Frank's good at jawboning. And made some connections, made some contacts. The next thing you know, Frank is everywhere.
Stories about Bogert, both true and apocryphal, are inextricably tied to the history of Palm Springs, the city he helped elevate from a sleepy village to a world-class resort. That's why Bogert, known as Palm Springs' Cowboy Mayor, is immortalized on horseback in bronze in front of City Hall.
Frank starts out, obviously on the horse riding side. He's the trail boss for the Vaqueros, the men's riding club that is not just a Palm Springs or a valley. I mean, they come from across the country. Politicians, governors, industrialists, bankers, movie stars come to ride on the Vaqueros. They got to be on. This is the ride. It's a 4-day ride. Frank's the trail boss. Why would Frank be the trail boss? Frank knew every trail. Knew when it was out, when it needed work, how to get around it. The man just knew all the trails because he rode all of So he was involved in that, involved with desert riders, Los Compadres. If it dealt with horses, yes. Frank was involved in the rodeo parade. He was an announcer for the parades. He was always involved. Frank had that personality, that voice that just convinced you that he was right. So whatever he was telling you, you just believed. And he gets picked up and now he's working for the Chamber of Commerce. He's now working later on for the El Mirador Hotel in marketing. He's doing all this promotion stuff. He's working for the Palm Springs Associates, which is a consortium of businessmen, because at that time they were all men, male-dominated businesses. And he was part of the associates to try to figure out how to market, how to brand, how to sell, PR, Palm Springs. And he, along with others, come up with the idea that when guests come to Palm Springs, he, along with so many other photographers, took pictures. There's Gino and his lovely wife from Pasadena. They'd take a picture, give it to you, and send it to your Pasadena newspaper, and your friends would open the paper and go, "Oh, look, the Lamonts are down at the El Mirador. We should go to there." He would wedge your visit to leverage new people. Brilliant. And he'd send it all over.